This video will walk you through setting up your WebAssign account and showing you where assignments are and what you need to do to complete the assignments successfully. To get to the WebAssign, you can use the course link in Blackboard, or you can type directly in the URL www.webassign.net. At the home page, you will need to first access our course. Under the login information, so under account login, you'll see a little key and it says I have a class key. If you click on there, it'll take you to a page so that you can enter the course information. Here, for our course, you will need to enter the class key. Take a moment and write down this code. This is the code you're going to need to get into the Math 200 WebAssign. Once you've entered the code, please hit Submit. What you should see is that your class key has been recognized, and you should see the verification information there, Calculus 1, the online section with my information, University of Alaska Fairbanks. Click Yes, this is my class, and then you will be taken to the account setup screen. Here you have two options. If you already have a WebAssign account, so if you've used it for a pre-calc course or a 161 or you've taken Math 200 before, then you can already go down to the bottom and say I already have a WebAssign account. Enter your login information and then click Continue. If you have never used WebAssign before, then you're going to need to create an account. So take the first option and click Continue. Here you're going to be asked to insert some information. For the username and password, you can pick this. This is completely up to you what you want your username and password to be. Please make it something that you're going to remember, as I am not going to have access to this, and if you forget it, you're going to need to contact support to retrieve this information. This could cause delays in access, which could result in missed assignments, so please pick something you're going to remember. Once you put in a username, you can check the availability, make sure that nobody else has it, and then again put in your password. Please note that the conditions on the password are listed there. It must contain 6 characters, at least 1 letter, and at least 1 number. Go ahead and re-enter your password. And then under the student information, you're going to be asked to enter your name, first and last, email, and student ID number. This information needs to be exactly as it is in Blackboard. I'll repeat that. The information that you put under student information needs to be exactly as it is in Blackboard. If your student information does not match what's in Blackboard, you will not get credit for your WebAssign. That information needs to be the same so that grades will get entered correctly. So if you are changing your name or you use nicknames, make sure it matches up with what's in Blackboard. Once you enter all this information, you're going to hit Create an Account. So once you've entered your information, you'll see something similar to this that says your account has been created. It'll give you your username, your UAF code, and it will hide your password. Again, make sure you remember that information. Once it's been verified, once you are in your course, you're going to be taken to the Access page. Here you will be given 3 different options. Either you can purchase an access code, which means you haven't bought in your books yet, or if you've bought in your books, you have not bought an access code with them. You can enter the access code, so if you have all your course materials including the access code, you can pull out that card and enter that information. or you can continue with the trial period. If you've already purchased and received your course materials, like I said, you should have a card. You'll want to enter your access code, so choose that option, and then it'll come up with a drop-down box for you to choose your access code prefix. Most of the ones that we're going to be looking at are Enhanced WebAssign Math, which usually looks like EWA Math, but please check your book code. Some of them are combos, some of them are just the Enhanced WebAssign Math and Science, some are MTB. Once you have the prefix that you're using, they'll give you 4 little boxes there to enter your access code. Okay, you should type the code exactly as it appears on the card and then click Continue. Okay. If you've entered everything correctly, you should be taken to the course homepage. Okay. If you need to purchase your access code online, again, you can choose that option and click Continue, and it will take you to the different resources for the classes. Now, depending on which class you're in, if you're in my Math 200, you're going to look for the Calculus 1 section online, and you'll see the options under that book. Okay. I would recommend that you get the lifetime of edition, especially if you're going to be taking Calc 2 and or Calc 3. What that does is it will basically pay for your WebAssign access for the next 2 courses. Pretty much as long as we're using this textbook, which will be for a while. For the lifetime of the edition, you have 2 different options. You can either just use the bottom one, which is Life of Edition Access to Homework, or you can have the Lifetime of Edition Access to Ebook and Homework. Again, I would probably recommend to have the ebook and the homework. The ebook just gives you some other options that are available to you. If you don't want the ebook and you know you're not going to use it for whatever reason, then you can just use the Lifetime Edition Access to Homework. Okay. Once you click your option, it'll give you a total down there. You can click on Checkout and it'll ask you for your payment information. Once your payment has been verified, then you'll be able to go into the course homepage. Okay, and you'll see something that looks like this. The third option that was down there was your continue your trial period. Okay. For each course, you usually get about 14 days. As you see on here, I have slightly longer, and that's just because I'm an instructor. But you can use the trial. It'll tell you how many days are remaining. If you click that option and hit continue, it'll take you to the course page, and it'll usually tell you every time you log in how long you have until your trial expires. Please make sure that you buy your access before your trial expires. If you don't, what will happen is everything you've done during that trial period will basically be eliminated, and you won't have access to that anymore. So make sure you enter your access code information, whether you purchase it online or purchase it with your books, before your trial ends. Okay. So when you're taken to the home page, you will see a couple of things on here. So under the assignments, you'll see the different assignments. As I said, I'll use this for your quizzes, your prerequisite test, and you'll also use WebAssign for a personal study plan. Okay. So to the left of the screen, you'll see the My Assignments. It'll have your quizzes and their due dates. And then your prerequisite test is also listed on there and its due date. Okay. Underneath that, you'll see the grades. Usually you'll be able to see in here once you've completed an assignment, it'll show up under the grades. You can click on that and see what your score was, which ones you got right and wrong. You can review the solutions to the quiz. Okay, and then down below that is the personal study plan. Personal study plan is not graded for this course. Students in the past have asked about extra credit assignments. This would be the only place you're going to receive any kind of extra credit. The personal study plan basically will take you through the 5 chapters of the book that we're going to cover, and if you complete those assignments or complete all of the questions in there, you can get a little bit of extra credit. Okay, on the right side of the screen, you'll see the announcements, the communication, the My Calendar, and then the About This Class. Okay, the About the Class has a link to your ebook. Okay, so if you don't have your textbook around, or you just want a quick confirmation on something, or want to look up a formula, you can click on the ebook and it'll take you to that. Okay, it'll just take you to the calendar. The communication and the announcements, I'm pretty much not using in WebAssign. Same with the calendar for due dates, for announcements, for any other kind of communication that you need to do, use Blackboard. Okay. If you try to do it through WebAssign, I may or may not get it. It goes to my general email. If you try to use communication in there, those don't always come to me. They tend to get overlooked because I get messages from WebAssign support as well. So please, if you need to communicate, use the Blackboard. Okay. Under the assignments, you'll see the different quizzes. Every section that we're going to cover has a quiz. Okay. The quizzes are usually 5 problems. And as you can see, you'll see the questions 1 through 5 there, the total. They're all out of 5 points. The quizzes are meant to be quick previews to what you're going to see on the homework. I would recommend reading through the section, doing the practice problems, then coming into WebAssign and doing the quizzes. The quizzes should not take you very long. If you're spending more than 30 minutes on a quiz, go back and reread the material, or look over the notes again. These should not take you very long. Okay. Read the instructions on the problems. If they are asking for particular notation, it'll usually say it within the problem. If you put in a correct answer, usually it doesn't matter too much about the format unless they specifically ask for, a simplified fraction versus a decimal. Okay. Each quiz you'll see on there under the description which sections or which topics it's going to cover. I tried to label them by section, so quiz 1.1 is going to be over section 1.1 of the text. You can see here that's functions and models. Okay. Every one of your quizzes, you'll get 3 attempts at each problem. So if you put in an answer and get it wrong, you can try it 2 more times. Those quizzes usually after the first attempt. So if you notice at the bottom of each problem, there's a need help button. After you've tried it once and you got it wrong, you will also see buttons down here that say, view an example, or go to a tutorial. So you'll get a little bit more resources after you've tried it out once or twice. Okay. In some cases, you may see a watch it, so it'll take you to a little video. Okay. Once you've entered your answers, so for example, let's say this is my first problem and I want to say 1, 0 is the intercept. Ooh, that's not an x-intercept. There's my x-intercept. Let's say it's 1, 0 and 9, 0. And let's say 0, -9 is my solution there. I can submit my answer. It'll tell me whether I got things right or wrong. Okay, so the check mark shows you got something right. The X's will tell you you got something wrong. Once you submit, you only need to change the ones that you got wrong. Okay, and every submission counts as a try. So even though maybe I only want to change this one, if I submit there, that's going to count as 2 submissions. Okay, so I would recommend trying to redo all of the pieces at a time and then resubmit. Okay, instead of resubmitting now and then changing this and resubmitting again, that would use up all 3 of my attempts. Okay, Notice on the other problems, I don't have the submit answer, and that's just because I haven't entered anything. So as soon as you enter something, then your submit or your save will show up. Okay. The other thing you should notice is once you've clicked into one of the answer boxes, you get this little calc pad that shows up. This will take you and give you basically all of your symbols that you're going to need for this course. So there's your trig. Probably won't need the vectors so much, your set notation, so intersection and union, your Greek alphabet. For your functions, you'll see roots, exponents, logarithms, grouping symbols will show up, factorial, your I for imaginaries, your infinity, all of that stuff, any notation you're going to need there will show up in that calc pad. Okay. If you click on an answer box and that calc pad doesn't show up, that just means you probably shouldn't need it for that problem. Okay. If you are having problems with WebAssign in the sense that maybe your answer boxes don't show up or your cursor doesn't show up, check and make sure that your Java and your Flash are updated. If they are, I would just recommend, closing out the browser and restarting it. Okay, usually those will be things that will fix those. If you continue to have problems with those types of things, or if those happen, I won't say they're regular, they're not usually, but if those happen, you can also contact WebAssign support, and they're usually pretty good about helping you out with that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the home. Okay, and you'll see under the pretest, this one's a little different. So this is actually an exam on here. This is the only exam you're going to take through WebAssign. Okay, and what you'll notice is when you click on that, unlike the quizzes, you get a little box that comes up about an assignment restriction. Your pretest is timed. What that means is when you open it, you get 2 hours. Once the 2 hours is up, you're no longer going to have access to that. Okay, there is a little timer in the upper corner. So once you click continue, it'll take you to the assignment. This looks very similar to the quizzes. The only difference is there are more problems, and like I said, it's timed. Okay, so as you'll see here, up in the right corner, upper right corner, you'll see a little clock that's counting down that tells you how much time you have remaining. Okay, you'll have 20 questions. Same type of thing. You get answer boxes for each of them. The difference here is you don't get a submit after each one. You have to complete the entire pretest and then submit. If you want to retry it, you can retry after that. Okay. Your best entire assignment submission is used for your score. So you can you have up to 3 attempts at this. You'll be able to go through, try the problems out. Once you're done, submit everything. The submit is at the very bottom. So once you've entered everything, you can submit the assignment or save the assignment progress. If you save it, you can go out and come back in. The clock will start up where you left off. So for example, let's say I type in here that my equation looks like y equal 3x plus 4. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'll save my assignment progress. I can actually go out of this. Okay. And you'll notice when I go back in, the clock picks up right where I left off. Okay. Okay. Please do all of the prerequisite quizzes and the practice problems before attempting your pretest. You do need to pass the pretest in order to stay in this class. That's to make sure that you have the prerequisite knowledge needed to do well in this course. Students who in the past have not done well in the pretest usually do not do well in this class. So make sure that you understand that material before you attempt your pretest. Like I said, if you don't like the grade that you get on that, you will have another attempt at it. So use those attempts wisely. Any attempt you use needs to be completed before June 5th. You will not have access to the pretest after that. If you have not taken the pretest by that date, you will be dropped from the class. Okay. The other thing in here is your study plan, and as I said, this is mostly a chance for you to just better your knowledge in the different areas, but also earn a little bit of extra credit. So you can read about the study plan there and the instructions. Basically, anything you do in WebAssign will help with the study plan. There are quizzes in there that you can use. So you can check out each of the chapter quizzes. There's practice quizzes on each section. These are made up from the publisher, so these are more specific to the book. These are not problems that I picked, but they will give you an overview of each section. So if you've done the WebAssign and the practice problems and you're starting in on the homework and you still don't feel like you know enough of it, you can go to the eLive sessions and get some help, but you can also use this personal study plan to help you figure out where you're having some issues. Okay, so that'll pretty much take you through the WebAssign. If you have questions on it, like I said, you're welcome to ask and get a little bit more help. But at this point, you should be pretty much set up for the course. You should be able to access the quizzes and the pretest, and you should be able to get started.